Welcome to Ashmont University. I'm your professor today, Adam Ashba, and today we're going to finish our four-part series on adding a property onto the Columbus Board of Realtors MLS. This is a four-part series. We're on the last one, so congratulations. So we're going to go ahead and dive into it right now.
Welcome back to Columbus MLS video training. This is MLS Ad Edit or MLS Listing Entry, Part 4. In this section, we're going to talk about editing a listing that has already been set as active, and we did that in Parts 1 through 3. We went through all the steps to make an existing listing, brand new listing, that is, a brand new listing active, going through Ad Edit, auto population of tax data, filling in all the fields, and going through some of the trouble fields. Now we're going to talk about editing that listing after it is set as active, and so that's what we're going to go through right now. So to find my listing, there are a couple of ways I want to do that. One is to simply hover over the Add Change menu at the top of the screen. And as you know, when we hover over Add Change, we can go to My Incomplete for listings that were saved earlier but not saved as active. That's My Incomplete. We already did that. Now I want to go to Change an Existing Listing. And we also talked about adding a brand new listing, a same menu. You hover over Add Change, you go to Add New Listing right there to add a new listing. But to change a listing, you hover over Add Change and you click on Change. When you click on Change, this takes you to the Change screen. And if you've got, as I do, a couple of listings active, but you can also switch to the contingent or pending or other listings here, for example, expired, and modify those. Or you can go up to the MLS number and type in the MLS number of the listing you want to search. Admins will use this frequently because they'll have a lot of listings in the list because all of the agents' listings will show up there. Whereas if they go up and search by MLS number, it makes it a little easier to find that listing. All right, but I'm just going to go ahead down here at the bottom, and in my active listings, I'm going to click on the listings I started to enter. I click on the MLS number, and it takes me to the Edit Search screen, or the Edit Listing screen, not the Edit Search screen. So if I want to go through and verify any of this stuff, I can simply click on Change List Price. Or if I want to change the contingency status, or if I want to extend the listing, or if I want to put the listing under contract, or close the listing, withdraw, or cancel. We're going to talk about all of these statuses right now. The first thing I'm going to do is go to Change List Price. So maybe I'm having a price drop or a price increase for this listing. So I click on Change List Price. I put in the new price of $157.9. Notice I put in all the zeros. And I simply click the Next button right below it. And that's it. I've changed the list price. Now I need to verify all changes I make on the MLS. So I go up to the Full Listing Report at the top of the screen. Now when I get to this report, notice if I just go up to the price right up here, I notice it's $157.9, original list price $159.9. So the change is live, and this is truly live on the system. As soon as you get this confirmation, everybody else who's searching a listing gets the same thing. Now something catches my eye. As soon as I see this, I have a style wrong. This is a 2-story, and I've got it marked as a buy level. I need to fix that. So I'm going to click the Return to Edit Listing button right up here at the top of the screen. That takes me back to that edit screen, and I can go into listing information right here and fix it. So I click listing information and I go to the field where I have the property type, and there it is. Oops, there's style. That's what I need to change. Under general property info, style, buy level, I need to make that 2-story because that's what this property actually is. Now I've fixed that mistake. I go up and I click Save Changes at the top right-hand corner. It verifies that all required fields are filled in, and then takes me back to the edit screen. Now for the record, if you go in and you edit by level and it tells you there's a required field that you need to fill in, it's possible that a field was made required or a new field was added between the time you edited the listing and the time you edited the listing. For example, we've added HOA, COA, yes, no, and we've added manufactured housing, yes, no, here recently during this last month or so. And so if this listing was entered last month, if I go in and edit that listing now, it's going to make me fill in those required fields. So even if you filled in all the fields when you entered it, there may be new fields that are required or changes that have been made. So be aware of that. If you get told and all you edited is one field, but it tells you another field is required, that may be what happened. All right, so that was one way to get to edit my listing. I went to Add Change menu at the top, and I went to Change, and I selected my active or contingent or pending, under contract, whatever it might be. Another way to do this is go up to Quick Launch at the top of the screen. Now, Quick Launch allows you to quickly search for a listing. And if I go up to my listing and I type in 20160520 test, because that's the street name. I just typed in, that's the street number and street name of my test listing. You can type in an MLS number there, or you can type in the street number, street name. There's the MLS number, 216017819. And if I just click on it, that will take me to my listing. In this case, I went by address, but I could have gone by MLS number as well. Point being, once I'm on the listing, if you look right here by the MLS number where I'm hovering over my mouse, I can click the down arrow beside that, and I can edit my listing directly from here. Another way to do that is from the list of properties. Notice that same MLS number, that same downward arrow beside the MLS number, and I have an Edit Listing button. So this is an alternate way to edit your listing, is just pull it up on any search and then click the down arrow on the list or from Edit Search, or excuse me, from the Detail tab. Again, by the MLS number, click the down arrow, Edit Listing. Now I click on Edit Listing, and it takes me to the Edit screen. And here we have those same options we had earlier. Remember, I went to Listing Information to change the buy level to 2-story. Well, what if I go down here to change list price? We already did that. Maybe I need to add a contingency. So I click on Add Remove Contingency at the bottom of the screen. And instead of no contingency, the property is now contingent escape. The default is sale of home, but if you needed to change that to something else, you could change it right there. Whatever the escape clause is for that contract, you would type in that description right there under contingency reason. Then you would type or click next. Notice it says you have to click next again. Don't forget to do that because you haven't actually saved it until you click next again. And now the listing is contingent. Again, you can verify it right up here with the Full Listing Report button. So when I click on Full Listing Report, it's going to open that listing, and now there is contingency escape and contingency reason, sale of home. Now I'm going to go back to the Edit screen by clicking up here at the top, and I'm going to say, you know, the contingency fell through. It was several days, and then the contingency fell through for whatever reason. I need to remove that, so I go to Add Remove Contingency again. I click on Add Remove Contingency. I change the contingent to no contingency. It wipes out contingency reason, and I click next. Again, it says to save the changes, you click next again, so I'm going to do that. I click next, and now that listing is back as active. Again, verify your change by clicking Full Listing Report button at the top of the screen. It opens the report, and now you can see that your listing is indeed active with no contingency. Okay, I'm going to pull up my listing again. I'm going to go by address up here, and I'm going to click on the address. Once I'm on the list, I can click the down arrow here in the detail page, or if I want to go to the list tab, I can click the down arrow beside the MLS number here as well, and I go to Edit Listing. All right, so now we've changed the list price. We've added a contingency. Maybe I need to change the expiration date, or even just check the expiration date. I can click on it, and the expiration date was set as August 31st. Maybe I need to bump that out to September 15th. And I click Next. Again, I click Next to save the changes. And now my listing has been saved with the new expiration date. Again, you can verify it by Full Listing Report. Scroll down to the bottom to the expiration date, and there it is. Remember, the expiration date only shows for your listings, not for other agents. Back to return to the Edit screen, and I'm going to go to Under Contract, Pending, Penned Listing. When I click on Penned Listing, it takes me to the Under Contract date, and I put in the Under Contract date here, and then I click Next, and that will put that listing under contract. That's the only field required for pending under contract. Again, you'll click Next twice. I'm just going to go back to Search Results. I'm going to click on down arrow. I'm going to click on Edit Listing, and this time I'm going to go to Close the Listing. And when I click Close Listing, it takes me to this screen, requires a sold date. Now, since I did not actually put it under contract, it's going to require the under contract date here. Remember, The changes in the middle, the dates must be changed within 24 hours. So if it went under contract on a certain date, you need to mark that. If it went contingent on a certain date, you have 24 hours to mark that. Now, if you put it in as a contingent, but it goes under contract and you didn't change it, that's why you'd have to fill in the under contract date on this screen. Sold terms, selling member, co-selling member, and sold price. Notice you also have seller-assisted financing and seller concessions as non-required fields. Okay, now we're going to go back to the other screen. So I click back. Now normally, again, you would click next once you fill in all these required fields. You click next again to save those fields, but we're not going to mark this one as closed right now. I'm going to click the back button, and that takes me back to the Add Edit screen, and I want to look at withdrawn, temporary, and canceled. Withdraw temporary means take off the market temporarily, temporarily withdrawn, temporary off market, whatever you want to call it. You just put in the withdrawn date and take it off the market by clicking next, then next again. Canceled is very different. Canceled means final. Canceled means rescinded. Now, if you're putting in a cancel date, notice it says lease information was leased. If this property is being canceled because it was leased, then you need to check the box and mark yes for was leased. And then the lease information, lease date will be entered here as well. So that's a special case for lease. Now, if you're just canceling the property because it was rescinded, remember, canceled, permanently, final, rescinded, no longer working with this client. Then you put in the cancel date. You don't need to fill in the lease information down here. Okay, so that's what the canceled is. I'm going to, again, if you make it canceled, you put in the cancel date, you click next again. And if it was leased, and that's why it's being canceled, then you mark yes. I'm going to click the back button to go back to the main Add Edit screen. Remember, you can edit photos for an existing listing. You click on the Photos button there, and you can drag and drop, rearrange, just like we talked about in the level or the Part 3 video for Add Edit MLS entry of listings. To move them down in order, you can use the arrows instead of drag and drop. You can edit the name of the photo by clicking on it at the top and then clicking the little green check. So again, this was all covered in the Part 3 video, but you're editing now listings for an existing listing, not for a new listing. You can still add more photos anytime. Unlimited number of photos. Remember, maximum file size of the photo is 15 megabytes, but as I told you in the previous video, never upload a 15 megabyte photo. It's unnecessary for this system. You don't need it. It's just going to waste your time. It should be between 1 megabyte and 3 megabytes for each photo you upload to the system. So I'm going to go back to Edit Listing right up here. Now I can go in and add videos and virtual tours. We talked about all this for a new listing, but you can go through and add videos and virtual tours for this existing listing as well. You can upload the documents or make changes to the documents, and you can add open house and tour of homes. Now I'm going to click on open house. Again, you click add, you type in all the information for the open house, including the time, the date, and the comments, and then you click next. Okay, I'm going to click listing or return to edit listing at the top of the screen. The difference between open house and tour of homes: the open house is for the public, the tour of homes is for brokers and agents only. Okay, remember to edit your map location. If you didn't do this when you entered the listing, it always prompts you to do it when you enter the listing, but you want to click on map location right over here, and you want to just make sure that the property is located correctly. Now, if you remember from my previous video on Add Edit listing entry, there's a reason why this is showing up in the middle of the water, because it's a fake listing. So I put it in the middle of Lake Erie. You don't want to do that for a real listing, obviously. You'd want to put it down where it actually belongs, and you can fix it anytime just by doing what I'm doing. Moving the map to the correct location, zoom in on that location. The push pin will be the identification of where that property is located. And to fix that geocode, you just put it on top of the house. So I'm going to zoom in here on Lozelle Road, zoom in on Suntree Drive. I'm going to switch to the satellite view at the top right-hand corner. I see the house right there. It's that one right there. So I zoom in as far as I need to. I move the push pin in the driveway or on the rooftop or out in the middle of the street, wherever you want, and click Use this location. And that's it. You fixed your geocode for an existing listing. Again, you click Map Location. And because this is a test listing, I'm going to move it out. Remember, this is a requirement. You must verify the geocode for your listing. The geocoder will get it right most of the time, but you are required to verify it. One, because your client's relying on that property being located correctly when other agents search by polygon shape. And two, there is a data maintenance fee for incorrect location of your properties. So I'm going to move this back up so that it is not readily available in Polygon, since it is a test listing. And I'm going to click use this location in the middle of Alum Creek Lake. Now, again, that was only because I'm showing you this as an example. For real listings, you absolutely want it to be right on the frontage of the property for sale. That was map location. Now I'm going to go back to listing information. Again, for an existing listing, I click listing information. And now I can go through and make any modifications. The one we already made was to the style, to change it to 2-story. But if I need to go down through and make some comments changes, I can scroll down here. There's the additional parcel numbers. But remember, we saved it as active already. So the parcel number field, the tax district field, and several other fields, including the address section, is no longer available because those geography and tax record fields are locked. If I want to go to details and make changes to the beds and baths, I can certainly do that. If I want to go to the main fields back again, so I'm just editing existing fields on my listing. And then if I do make changes, I can simply click Save Changes at the top right-hand corner. It will verify that there are no required fields that have not been filled in. As I said, there may have been new fields added or modified that we would have to fill in. Otherwise, you get the confirmation. And again, after you edit your listing, just like every other edit we made, just click Full Listing Export or Full Listing Report up here at the top to verify that the changes you made are now active on your listing. All right, so we've edited the listing. I'm going to click Return to Search Results. Remember, to edit your listing, you can pull it up by MLS number or by address, and you can click the down arrow right here, and you can go to Edit Listing, or you can go to Add Change, go to Change, select the status you want to view, and click on the MLS number. Either way, it takes you to this exact same edit screen where you have all of the edit functions for your listing. And this concludes our MLS Ad Edit or MLS Listing Entry video series. This is part 4. Check out the other 3 parts if you want to learn the whole process. This was the Ad Edit, Editing an Existing Listing section, part 4. See you next time on Columbus MLS Video Training.